the Metropolitan magazine from Barcelona. We are the only English speaking magazine in Barcelona. So the first thing I wanted to, how was Bilbao?
Oh, fantastic.
Okay. Yeah. So are you bringing the same band that you did last time?
Yes, I've had the same band now for 2 years, and first time in my life I've ever done 2 records in a row with the same band. Soulfire last year, 2 years ago, and Summer of Sorcery now. And it's been the same band on both records, and for touring 2 years. So the longer you're together, the better you get.
And I was listening to your new record, and it's a classic with Jersey Shore sound. I liked it a lot. And but I was curious about MTV. You say 20 years ago Jersey Shore, and in MTV Jersey Shore means another different thing now, because for kids MTV Jersey Shore would mean this program or reality show. Yeah. Yeah. And how do you approach these young people to the kind of music that you bring?
Well, you can't control that. I have my radio show, and when people come to the show, or live show, or they listen to my radio show, or they come, or they buy the records, they're going to hear the real Jersey Shore. The other one.
Yeah. And precisely about that, you've been called the evangelist of the garage band, no? So I see that that's your approach to how the way kids or anybody who wants to make music should take. Can you abound about that?
Well, yeah, we don't. You don't have to have a big record company or a big manager or a lawyer. If you make a great record and we hear it, we're going to play it on my radio format in 100 countries. 100 countries. Yeah, so we're supporting new bands all the time. We've introduced over 1,000 in 17 years, and we're proud of that. And we continue to play all of the history of rock and roll, including the new stuff, and nobody else is doing that. But we feel it's very important that new generations get a chance to hear the Renaissance. It's a Renaissance as far as I'm concerned. From 1951 to 1971 especially, that 20-year period is particularly important, and it's important that young generations have access to it,
Yeah. And I've seen talking about how you became an activist, and it's good to see that you're still in that. But for instance, yesterday I was reviewing your Twitter. And see that most of the people that had contact with you has to do with your political concerns, no? And many tweets had to do with that. But I was interested in that you mentioned this girl Greta Thunberg, and perhaps that's the new activism. Do you think that's the space?
Yeah, that's real activism. That's the real thing. She's quite a hero, and I really love her and what she's doing, and that's extremely important now. Unfortunately, we have to wait about 5 or 6 years before they can vote. But I wish they could vote tomorrow. Yeah. But I think this new generation of teenagers, very encouraging. I have a lot of hope for them, and they're naturally green, right? Environmentalists. They're naturally not prejudiced.
Yeah.
They don't care, black, white, gay, straight. They don't care.
Yeah.
They're very they're against guns. And half of them are vegan already. So they're a higher evolved species, I think, which is just in time. Yeah. Maybe they can save the planet.
Yeah. And do you consider that this work that you've done in parallel to your music career, people usually will think of it as a philanthropy, but I find that the activism that you do now has to do with the help that you're giving to teachers and
Yeah, but it's not philanthropy. I'm not a nice guy. No. It's self-interest. It's self-interest. It's self-defense. Okay, I do things like, the world. If we can increase the graduation rates in my country, by 5%, it saves $18 billion in crime costs. 18 billion in crime. 5%. So
that investment is not done.
Yes, it seems like a worthwhile way to spend one's time trying to keep these kids in school. And if you drop out, you got a 50% chance you're going to be in prison. 50% chance. That's a big number. And so we're trying to do three things with the teachrock.org. We're trying to keep the arts in the education DNA, Keep it in school somehow, because everything gets cut. Second, create a new methodology for this young generation. This young generation is different. They're faster than us, smarter than us, and have no patience. No patience. So teachers can't get their attention and keep it. Well, we figured that out, how to do it. We do it with music. Kids are into music, they know music, we talk about music, and they stay engaged. And the third thing, of course, is affecting the dropout rate, affecting the graduation rate, which, maybe that's not so universal, but in America it's a big deal. But the first two are totally international, universal. Keep the arts in the DNA of the education, and provide a new way of teaching this younger generation, because the old methods are not going to work.
And changing the subject, another career of yours, which is an actor. Do you have plans in that line?
Well, I got plans. I don't know whether I'm going to get to them, but I got lots of plans. Story of my life. I decided I needed to spend a couple of years reconnecting with my own music. So these last couple of years I did that. And that was very worthwhile. I'm very happy I did it, okay? Because, I really am happy where I am artistically now. But, now Bruce probably, may want to go out in 2020. I always give him first priority. So we'll do that if he wants to. So it's a little hard to find 6 months to do a TV show, You need at least 6 months. And maybe 2022, 2023, we'll see.
I got to ask. Rebirth. What is this? How does this album or this new, concert tour? How does that figure for you?
It is a rebirth, because all of my solo albums in the '80s were all autobiographical and all very political. Okay. So now I come back by accident. Somebody asked me 3 years ago, put a band together and play my blues festival. Headline my blues festival. I said, well, I haven't done that in 25 years, 30 years. But I said, it sounds like fun. I did it. That turned into the Soulfire album, which I wasn't ready to write a whole new album. So I did an album of songs I've written for other people. And I noticed I write differently for other people than I write for myself.
Right.
I said, you know what? I want to write like that for me. Fiction. Nothing real.
So the new songs, you're a different persona for every new song.
All 12 songs are different little movies with playing a different character in each. Little bits and pieces of reality here and there.
Which has been your hardest one
to write?
Yeah.
Well, they you know what? They came very naturally. This album, very organically. I think the first one was probably the important one, which is the title track. You know, once I had Summer of Sorcery, the song, I felt this feels like the beginning of an album now. You know, I can build around that, and so it was not that difficult to write. I must say, you know, the difficult part was waiting for the ideas to come, because, you know, when you stop writing, and I stopped for 30 years. You know, you bring your radar down. Huh? You're not observing anymore. You're not making notes. You know, you're not having ideas. You're not writing little pieces of melody down, recording melody. You know, nothing. So I was patient, and I just was doing the Soulfire tour and absorbing my own music, you know, every night. And about a year into the tour, suddenly ideas started to come. So it came very naturally. And, you know, you take the whole Soulfire tour, and you can hear it on the Soulfire Live box set, 4 hours of music, right?
See you tomorrow night?
You know, well, no, that was last year's tour.
Oh, Soulfire, sorry.
Soulfire. But you take the whole 4 hours of that live Soulfire box set, and you put it into a blender, and out pops Summer of Sorcery. You know what I mean? And that's the new show you're going to see tomorrow.